Hey everyone, I've been testing and running CachyOS for more than 60 days now. It has been my main OS, and man, like I have to say a lot of things about it. Are you ready? Let's get into it. So as always, I'm gonna start with a little bit of context. As you know, I'm a big fan of all the Arch-based distribution and also Arch. And I've been trying to find, I would say, like the perfect one. Because obviously the easiest way or the hardest way, depending on what side you want to look at it, would be for me to start on a pure Arch and then build everything as I really want to build it. But on the other hand, I'm way too lazy and I don't have enough time to actually build this perfect distro by myself. I tried. I actually show you a lot of scripts, like the one made by TKG or the one made by Cardiac, to really like create your perfect distro. But at the end of the day, for my usage and that I have on my hand, I would like someone to do all the heavy lifting for me. And I tried EndoverOS, but I was still not exactly where I wanted to be because the amount of customization and enhancements I had to do after installing those distros for my, I would say, like gaming needs were still like a little bit high for my taste. And this is where CachyOS just appears. Because CachyOS comes with a lot of optimization. We're going to talk about it in this video. Obviously, I won't be able to cover all of this. I'm going to pick and choose like the one I really want to put in emphasis there, but you're going to have an idea of what I'm talking about. First, I'm going to cover the install really quick. Then we're going to move to all the tools that CachyOS provide. And then we're going to talk about the optimization a little bit more in detail. The install. To be super clear, I just recorded a video, I don't know, maybe like 3 hours before, where I explain in detail all the different options in the install, and I get really deep into it. And it took me around like 40 minutes. So I decided to reshoot it, and this is what you are watching right now. It's gonna be a really short version of, I believe, what is really important in this installation. So to tell you the installation is complete will be pretty on point. You have first like two approaches. You have the CLI approach and you have the GUI approach. The one I tested in depth was the GUI one. I really liked it. It's based on Calamares. You have like two different ISO you can download. At the time I'm recording this video, one with KDE and one with GNOME. You can install both of these desktop environment offline. However, whether you choose one or the other, you can also have an online installer. What I've done, I use the KDE version and I went for the online installation. I'm a big fan of that, like that. When everything is installed, everything is up to date. I don't have to do one big upgrade after it. And because my PC is connected on internet, no worries. It was really smooth. You just go through it, nothing special. However, some differentiation point they have compared to the other Calamares Arch installed I used before is that first you can choose your bootloader, which is pretty sweet. The second one is about the file system. They offer a lot of options, including XFS and ZFS. If you are into this type of file system and you don't want to have a headache installing it on your PC, that's a plus. After that, when you go on the online version of the installation, you will have access to a lot of desktop environments. And I tested all of them. Okay, I want to be straight with you. I tested all of them. They all function. They're all customized differently. Some of them are not really like, I would say like clean. I'm thinking about OpenBox, for example, which has like definitively a big theming and a big setup on top of it. But I appreciate it because it was clear and really like acts on my need and it worked. So again, kudos to you guys. Now we talk about the different available. I will also like mention Hyperland, which was working out of the box with the NVIDIA card. Yes. Which was just awesome. Already optimized. And the one I choose for this 2 months usage I did and test on the distro was obviously KDE, because I think it's the best right now for gaming. Another great point is that when you install, you're gonna have access to the CachyOS repo to choose your kernel. We'll go more in depth about that after, but you will see the list is pretty exhaustive. And I really like this approach of just choosing the best optimized kernel you want. It's pretty cool. And to conclude this installation phase, I would say that it was really smooth, that I had no problem with my NVIDIA driver. I had the latest version of the driver installed. Everything was rock solid. So again, a really good point for CachyOS here. One topic I won't be covering is the theming, because I don't see any value added of me commenting on the theming. I think theming is really about taste, and it's really subjective. You like it, you don't like it. What I can tell you, it was super clean, super responsive. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, but this should not be push you away from the distro itself, because changing a theme takes literally 10 seconds. So just a little in between comments there. If you are scared about the theming, you think it sucks for whatever reason, please continue to watch this video. You're gonna be surprised. The theming is literally nothing to modify. Now, let's talk about the tool. The tool itself, it's called CachyOS Hello. And it's kind of like a shortcut to everything else. And that's why I want to talk about it. So obviously you have all the documentation, support, project, everything here, which is pretty sweet. Then you have two applications here. You have the first one, which is install app. You click on it and you're gonna have access to a GUI with every type of app you can install, right? Pretty basic, I like it, it's cool. Second one, which is one of my favorites, I have to say, is the app/tweaks. And here what you can see, you have some tweaks you can enabled. So they have the prophylactic demand, the system -UMG. They have also thought about security. You can enable app armor here, which is pretty good. And then you have the performance here with the BPF tune and the Ananisi CPP enable. So it's just one click here and boom, it's gonna work, which is pretty sweet. And also you can enable the Bluetooth by just clicking on this little thing here. By default, if I remember correctly, it was not on. So make sure you go there and you enable it. Then you have the fixes. You have the basic system update, reinstall all package, refresh carings, clear package, remove the DB lock, remove orphan. You can rank the mirror here. And I'm going to have to talk about this because it's something you might have to do. Keep that in mind. And then here you can change your DNS server. Everything go through GUI. You press the button, you have another GUI, or you have a prompt asking you a password, and then you have a script behind it. So it's pretty straightforward. Now you have the CachyOS package installer, which is their own package installer there, which is again pretty sweet. And then you can go through their whole repo and choose whatever you want. But there they have the masterpiece, which is the CachyOS kernel manager. This one, I would love to have a discussion with the devs there to really get into it, because you will see it's easy to learn, but I would say it might be a little bit hard to master for the people who have no clue of what they are doing with the kernel. So here you see how easy it can be. You go there and you can choose whatever kernel you need, and you're gonna have a lot of choice. So obviously I won't go too much in detail here, but you understand the value added from the distro. All the kernel, they are already precompiled, they are optimized, as you can see here, and you just have to click and download them. So on your hand, you won't have to compile anything. Everything is automatic. And because I'm really lazy, I think this is one of the features you really want to look into. Now, can you go deeper? Yes, you can. If you choose your actual kernel there and click on configure, you have all those options here with the GUI. So you could literally do what the TKG script kernel provide through this GUI, which is just awesome. Don't get me wrong, I really like this approach. And the good news is with my use, which are super intense, I didn't even have to go there because the kernel they provide was actually fulfilling all my needs. And that's what I like about the tools they provide here. It's pretty straight to the point. There is no too much bell and whistle. It's just there and it's clean and ready for people like me, which are gamers or even content creator. You arrive at a point where you just click, boom, boom, boom. and you are good to go. No extra heavy lifting to do on your hand. And that's a good point. Now let's talk about the optimization. And optimization is one of the key features of this distro. The first one I want to talk about is the fact that all the packages, or I would say most of them, are going to be delivered to your distro depending on the type of micro architecture level your CPU has. So if you own a pretty recent CPU, you're going to be able to take advantage of the x86-64-V3 architecture for your distro. And what it really means, it means that all the packages, they're going to have more instruction, which are like more adapted and more optimized for your CPU. And I don't know if you ever installed like something like Gentoo, when you set up the flag to compile everything and set up the type of level of optimization you get. This is the type of information you might have to provide. And it gives this little like peps that Gentoo has compared to the other distro when you are gaming or when you are on your desktop. Like you can feel like your CPU is being used at its maximum of potential. And so this is what is provided from, I would say, like the repo side. So you have a repo for the V3 and you also have a repo for the V4. The dev told me that right now, the install script will detect if you have the V3 and it will set up all the repo for you. And if you want to go with the V4, you're going to have to set it up manually. But in the future, like in the coming week, everything is going to be set up automatically. They are more or less like testing the V4 like repo right now. So this, my friend, is really good. Like I have to say, I don't have any benchmark to support it, but I can tell like this distro is super fast, super smooth. I'm really thinking that those packages are one of the reasons we reach this level of like speed and optimization overall on the distro. Now I want to talk about the kernel again really fast. And I want you to understand that the kernel, the way they are like getting delivered, not only they're going to have the microarchitecture related to your CPU like included in them, they're going to also have by default the BOR, the burst-oriented response answer CPU scheduler. You're going to have like right off the bat a kernel which is optimized to the tip of the top. I don't even know how to say that in English, but as we say in French, aux petits oignons. Like, really good. So that's another plus for the distro. Another plus is their browser based on Firefox. So I'm not really like good at understanding browser. I personally use Firefox even on this distro. But what I heard is like this browser, it comes with a lot of like fix and patches. And I will let you like try it on your own. I don't have the ability, neither the knowledge to give my feedback towards that. And that's the reason why I just use the base Firefox. But if some of you want to give it a try, I believe it might be like solid. If it's as solid as the rest of the packages and all the other like features they provide. Another point I want to mention here is everything related to the configuration of your distro. And when you start on Arch, you're going to learn the hard way that if you don't read the wiki, even if you install the distro, you might not use your hardware at 100%. And the reason why is that the philosophy of Arch is like, you have to do everything on your own because you are the one who owns the machine and you are also responsible of it. And here, what I really like about their vision is that they come with all the little like detail of optimization you can think of on the hook, on the config file, everywhere. So to give you an example, like I use a NVIDIA card. And here they come with a special like NVIDIA config, which is literally using all the best option to make it work and to load the proprietary driver the best way you could ever imagine. So some of you guys are going to tell me, yeah, but you can do that manually. And you will be right. But I'm pretty sure that most of the users on Arch, they don't even know all those details. So they might learn it today or they might learn it like 2 years from now. Until then, when they use their hardware, they might not really take advantage of it. And this is my point here. Like the devs, they did all the job for you. And the way they set this up, it just worked. So another good point for them there. And now the last but not least, and I would say the most under-featured and non-sell on the website and everywhere is their GitHub repo. So let me tell you, if you go from their website, they're going to talk about almost everything I mentioned before. But there is one thing they don't talk about is the CachyOS repository on GitHub. And this one, my friend, is so damn good. Now let me show you. I'm going to give the link in the description below for you to get there, because even if you are on Arch, you might be able to use it. But this is a piece of art, my friend. There is a ton of little scripts you could install to fix a lot of issues you might encounter while using Arch at a, I would say, like bleeding edge. Let me give you an example. I'm an NVIDIA user, okay? And I don't know if you know, but the latest driver on Wayland, they have some type of issue related to explicit sync. And you could compile yourself, find a solution to make everything work like really good. But it's a ton of work. And even if I don't doubt you have the capabilities to do it, well, they have a script for you to do it the easiest way possible. You just have to install those packages there, and boom, you will have access to the latest feature on your Arch distro. And this is just one example. Here, they have ton of different packages you could get into. So I choose this one because I used it. I thought it was pretty cool. They have a nice one for OBS, and I used it too. And they also have like their own Proton CachyOS. So this one is another pearl I found. Here, the team is actually like updating on the get-go, depending on whatever is happening on the Proton side and on the WAS side, adding their own patch. Just to give you an example here. You want to install NVIDIA Reflex through NV API. I don't know how to say that, like NV API. Well, guess what? There is a script for that. Just install it, and now you have the latest version of Proton, which is going to appear in your Steam. And you can use NVIDIA Reflex by just compiling that in like 10 minutes. And man, this is awesome. So now you get it. I'm totally oversold about this distribution. I believe this is one of the best Arch-based distribution. And I feel like if you have a use like mine, which is not bleeding edge, but more like at the edge of the bleeding edge, which is like really deep there, and you have specific hardware, like for me a 4090, and I want to take advantage of all the new features before they are even released, and not having to really dig into all those big wiki and do all those big compilation. This distro is for you. Like, you have no idea of the amount of time you're gonna gain by going that route. On the other hand, you need to understand that this distro, in my opinion, is not really oriented to the beginner. So if you are new to Arch, I would say start with EndeavorOS or Garuda. You know, learn the basic, learn how to maintain it, and don't go like too hard into this one, because this one, even if it's super easy to install, I don't think you're gonna be really like using it at its maximum potential if you don't have the base of Arch. So I'm not gatekeeping anyone. If you feel like you can do it, go for it. But I'm just giving like, you know, my feeling about it. Now, to give you an example of the type of issue I did encounter. I actually encountered 2 issues while using this distro for 60 days. And they were both related to the repo. I believe both of them have been fixed. However, if I didn't notice that something wrong happened when I was updating, if I didn't have the knowledge, I would have been in a serious bad position. I believe the dev fixed it because we had exchange on the Discord and they noticed it and they were like, okay, we put some a special like mechanism to make sure that when you upgrade, you don't break your distro. But being at the bleeding edge of the bleeding edge, you will understand that sometimes like you're living the risky life. So I just want you to be aware of that. I'm gonna try to make more tutorial towards it because I really enjoy it and I don't see myself using anything else right now. So I'm gonna put the link down below, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the content, and I really hope this distro is gonna gain a lot of visibility, guys, because it's definitively worth it. I want to thank all of you for watching the video. I want to thank all of you who support me financially. Guys, thank you very much. If you enjoy the content, give a thumbs up. Go on my Patreon. Go on my YouTube channel. Become a member. I will really appreciate it. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. And as always, bisous bisous.